So I've moved house. I've got some presents for my birthday, including a 6 foot something David Tennant. I didn't realise it's going to be quite hard to have him and me in the shot because he's so tall and I want to be sitting down when I do videos. And he also looks like he's in middle of regenerating as well. Like what? Oh, finally there. Hello guys, welcome back to New Who HQ. I am Matt. We are ranking every single series of New Who, and today we are up to Series 3. I have ranked Series 3 before, it was a few years ago. We're going to do it again, and there are only 9 to rank here because I do count two-parters as one entry, but another exception here, Utopia, Sound of the Drums and Last of the Time Lords, I include it as just one entry because I believe that it is a three-parter. People that say that Utopia is separate to that ending is wrong. It is so obviously a three-parter, and I'm counting it as a three-parter. So, Series 3 overall has got Martha Jones in it, so it is a series which I generally like a lot more than the average person. I think it is stronger than Series 4, and if you did watch my series rank, every single series ranked, this one did come top. So in my opinion, this is the best series of Doctor Who. That does not mean it's got some absolute stinkers in it, because it really does. It just means that as we get higher up the list, I really do value these episodes more than majority of others. So number 9, The Lazarus Experiment. This one I don't remember a lot of. Now obviously I watch Doctor Who all the time, so it's not that I don't remember what happens. I'm very aware of what happens in the episode, it just doesn't really stick with me, nor is it really important. I do kind of like that this episode does have a tiny little link to the finale, where we see the Master transforming the Doctor into an older age, and the reason that he's able to do that is because of the machine that we saw, the equipment that was being used from the Lazarus Experiment. So that's a good little link there between this episode and the finale. Have I got to mention the CGI? Everybody speaks about it. I'll quickly touch upon it. It is absolutely terrible. I don't even think it's because Doctor Who had a low budget. I've seen better CGI in classic Doctor Who. It's that bad. It felt very, very rushed. They literally just stuck a face on a monster, and it was a very, very big monster to CGI, I understand that, but the face was the most important part. We had a lot of close-up shots with it, and it was generally horrific and terrible, and yeah, not a big fan of that. I forgot to plug my mic in. Fantastic. Let's move up then. It's now in. Let's see if it makes a difference. Number 8, 42. This one I probably only rank it higher than the Lazarus Experiment is because when I was little especially, this actually made me quite scared. This monster that will burn, basically he wants you to burn with them, and we see some quite horrific scenes where he is killing people, and you see a lot of smoke coming out, they're basically being burnt alive, burnt to death. It's something which I thought was quite scary at the time, and that sticks with me a little bit. In terms of the actual story, 42 minutes until we get explode in the sun, I think is quite good. I think it sets a good time frame because now because you know how long you've got to solve things, which makes things when you're on a countdown a bit more sort of dramatic and higher stake, because after 42 minutes that's it, you've got to try and stop the countdown. We see the Doctor getting into a lot of trouble here. It's not a bad episode. I think number 8 is a fantastic place for it. It shouldn't be at the bottom, but it doesn't do enough to warrant a place to go up. Okay, number 7, Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. The human-like Dalek, which is introduced, I'm not massively against it like a lot of other people are. I think the actual design is pretty cool. I think the fashion that the Dalek chooses to wear is pretty cool. It's just a two-parter which it's a bit like The Age of Steel, The Rise of the Cybermen from Series 2. This should have been better, and it had some good things, good parts in it, like the big reveal that it was the Daleks. As we got to the end of the first part, was a pretty good reveal. I think the music was very, very good, very well built up. But apart from that, I mean, Andrew Garfield's in it. There's not really much else going on, and it's something that could have been good. It just was missing quite a few touches to put it into the good column. But number 6, we're starting to get to the episodes which I'm starting to like, and that's Gridlock. I was teetering to put this even higher than it already was, but I think what lets it down, it was a little bit predictable. Now, I like the bits where the Doctor is going through all the cars and you're meeting all types of different people. I think that's it's quite a cool scene, nothing too serious. It's played for comedy, but also we know he's trying to find Martha, so he is on a quest, he's actually trying to do something, so it's a good little balance there. I do quite like that. The Macra, I think the name is, from Classic Who, are okay. They're like crabs, basically. I mean, it's not the worst invention for a villain, nor is it really one that's going to stick out to me as one of the best ones, but as I said, it's okay. I do really like the ending where everybody finally is able to get out of the motorway and into the sky and back to seeing the city. It's a really beautiful moment, and there's a really good moment between the Doctor and Martha where they speak about, where they have some really deep conversations. But let's move up then to number 5, the Shakespeare. Oh no, it's just not going well today, is it? As I was saying, the Shakespeare Code. Everyone's probably thinking, why the hell have you put this so far up? And that is because this is an underrated episode. One where I think the story is amazing. I think sometimes when you bring back historical figures, it can go really well or really bad. I honestly think this went really well. I think to deal with someone like Shakespeare, the sort of figure he is, they do it very well, very respectfully. The language that is used, they don't take that away from Shakespeare. He's very unique and original to what he was like, but also mixing it in with the languages of having the Doctor and Martha there, and for a younger audience to understand it. I think the Threat of the Witches is a little bit cheesy, don't get me wrong, it's a classic witch story, but it kind of does work. The bit where the Doctor is only got one heart, I think that's quite funny. We see Martha and the Doctor again having a deep conversation. And look, I think I'm going to make a big video about this, about Martha is pining over the Doctor a lot in this episode, but these not dark, but a bit more deeper conversations we have with those two, we see that again here, and I think it works and it's valid and it doesn't feel pushed. I always have an issue where certain writers or certain episodes will push character development to the point where, a bit like the 15th Doctor and Ruby Sunday in Series 1, where it all felt very rushed, very pushed, doesn't feel right, their character development. This had to happen for the development of Martha and for the story to continue, but Shakespeare's a right laugh. I think it's a right laugh of an episode, which does have some darker moments. Some you could argue are cheesy, but it's just a really good fun. Everything's in fine balance. It's just a really good episode. The locations used as well. This is how you use good CGI. It was pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so we're up into number 4, the first episode of the series, Smith and Jones. Yeah. Again, I'm on repeat. I'll say it again, very briefly. When I spoke about character development, it's very important that you introduce the character. The introduction is the most important bit, which is why I think Rose is a very well developed character, because we saw that in the very first episode. A lot of the episode is not only about the Doctor and coming back and seeing how messed up he is from the Time War, but Rose herself and seeing her mundane, everyday life. Martha's obviously a lot different to Rose, but we still get that same idea. We understand what her life is like, and when the Doctor comes in, it completely changes and how she would deal with that. We also see a lot of her family around her, which again makes her feel more like a down-to-earth person, which people can relate to, and she is different to Rose, but a good different, and one that I prefer. It's a fantastic episode. The Judoon themselves in the hospital and the lady that drinks blood, I actually don't. I think that's quite a cool concept. I like the Judoon, I like I don't like her sucking blood, but I think she's a pretty cool villain for that. Yeah, this is, again, I feel like most episodes here are very underappreciated. This one is arguably one of the best series openers, not the 11th hour. I know everyone's going to say that, but it's not. This one is. So we're now to the final three, and these three are the ones that I adore. There are no negative comments at all. Maybe one. The number 3 is Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and Last of the Time Lords. Let's get the negative out of the way. Everything that the Master does, every destruction that happens is reversed. Yes, I understand that. But there is a consequence to this, and again, Empire of Death, Series 1 with 15th Doctor, there was no blimming consequences, but with this, the Master was still alive, and this messed up the Doctor as well. A lot of emotion is played on this. The idea that the Doctor comes back through the power of prayer, I actually like. Don't get me wrong, where he's like basically in midair, like a god, maybe that's a bit, it's original I guess to what Doctor Who would do, but not a massive fan of it. But I think Utopia is the best way to open up this 3-parter. The way the Master is announced is top class, you couldn't get better than that, it's fantastic. I think to see Derek Jacobi's Master just for a couple of minutes, but then to go into John Sim, I think, yeah, both played very, very well, and even though they're both different, they both still have that menacing feel, which is what the Master should bring. I don't think anything is boring. I think all 3 parts are amazing. I think Martha's great in this. Her ending feels so deserved. She takes, she admits that she was pining over the Doctor, and yet she's taken control of the situation, saying, I'm leaving, I'm walking out. Such a flipping amazing exit. Jack was amazing. Face of Bow, yeah. This is a very, very good 3-part. I could do a whole video on it because there's so much in it, but all you need to know is it's pretty good. But number 2 is Blink. I was very close to putting Blink at number 4. I'm not even going to lie to you. And maybe it's because Blink has so much love. Maybe it gets a little bit too much love. Maybe it's a bit too much. To the point where I started nitpicking it, and some parts don't really make as much sense. I always adore the bit where we find out that Kathy Nightingale was the man's grandmother, and Sally's like, well, how does that even... But that's impossible because she's standing right next to me. I like it when Doctor Who messes with time. Maybe here it messes with it a bit too much to the point where it just doesn't make any sense. But I think the parts that it does mess with time are really, really well explained and does work. I think Sally Sparrow completely steals the show here. The Doctor and Martha are in this episode in bits, but we don't really want them because I feel like Sally is completely and utterly in control, and she is stealing all the thunder. So yeah, really, really well done episode, and the Weeping Angels are an amazing invention, and a lot of episodes have come on the back of Blink with the Weeping Angels in it, so that shows how successful this episode really is. But it's not the best episode, and this one is the human nature and the family of blood. And this all ties into what I've been saying. This is where Martha really takes control. We still see her pining over the Doctor in parts, but she has got a duty to protect the Doctor, save him, and this is where we really see her at one of her strongest, where the Doctor's not there, it's John Smith. So she is in control, she is the one that knows everything, she is the one that has to sort it all out, and she does a very, very good job at it. This type of episode made me completely rethink about what Martha is like as a character, and this is one of the episodes which makes me absolutely love her. So Martha is very, very well done in this. I do quite like pre-war stories, and this is a year before the First World War. I think the setting they have for this and just the way it is done and the actors that are used in this, it's blimmin' amazing. And then you've got the Doctor himself, who, despite not really being in the episode much, the Doctor I mean, not David Tennant, but the character of the Doctor not coming in till late in the second part, and he completely and utterly steals the show from there on with his dark, twisted, no mercy of a character where the family of blood wanted to live forever.
So the Doctor made sure that we did.
That quote itself brings shivers down your spine, knowing what the Doctor did, you know, trapping them, nailing them to a cross so you're there like a scarecrow, all of that stuff. The family of blood wanted to live, and the Doctor made sure they did forever. He did what they asked, but in a very, very twisted way, and the fury of the Time Lord didn't shout, but you can still see the fury. Yeah, this is a great example of your main character who is messed up, who's a very good character but has been through a lot of messed up things, has a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and within about 10 minutes we get all of that. And David Tennant sells it. Fantastic performance from him. And it's just, very, very good episode. But series 3 overall honestly is amazing. I cannot underestimate those top 3 are going to be one of them is going to be in a top 5 all the time of my favourite Doctor Who episodes ever. These are up there, and not many more episodes will come close to this. But let me know what you think about series 3 overall. I am a big lover of it, so I understand that a lot of people may not agree with it. But let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you are new, and give this video a like, and I'll see you all for series 4 soon.